Welcome to the reality of voice acting with Richard Hawks, yours truly. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about goal setting and why it is important to have goals as a voiceover artist. Now, let's start right from the top and let's talk about and let's define what a goal is. Now, according to, and I'm looking down here at my notes, according to what we have, according to Wikipedia, the definition of a goal is as follows. Hang on just 1 second. All right. Here we go. All right. According to Wikipedia, a goal is an idea of the future or desired result that a person or group of people envision, plan, and commit to achieve. People endeavor to reach goals within a finite time by setting deadlines. Now, how does this all relate to voice acting? The reality of it is, if we're going to sustain and stay motivated in this particular business with all of the things and the rejection that we naturally are going to deal with, we have to make sure that we not only know what our goals are as far as our business of voice acting and what we're trying to get out of it, but it helps us to make sure that we know our why and that we keep in mind the why of why we're doing this. And the why of why we're doing this should be right in a line with the goals for our voice acting business. Number one, voice acting is a business, and businesses make money, hobbies take money. So, with your goal setting, you need to start from right there. Your first question that you need to ask yourself: what is it that you want to get out of your voiceover business, of your voice acting business? What do you want to get out of it? Is this something that you're doing as a hobby and is just something fun that you want to do and you're not really, and if it makes X amount of money, that's great. If it doesn't, that's good, then you're fine with that as well. And there's no right or wrong answer as far as what your goals are. It's about what you want and what you want to get and what you want to do. But the key is to make sure that you at least have that knowledge of what you want to do. Now, your goal could be to make, to just, it seems like it's an area where you can make a lot of money. Um, yes and no. Now, can you make a good amount of money doing voice acting? Yes. Is it possible to make a whole lot of money in a quick, fast fashion in the sense of, is this simple? Is it easy? Can you just get out there and just start killing it right away and just start making a ton? More than likely, no. And the reason for that is simply because skill level, competition, and the art of, and the simple fact of you don't know what you don't know. And when you don't know what you don't know, that all comes in and encompasses a learning curve of the different things and intricacies of the business in general. If we just don't know how to effectively and efficiently market ourselves, if we don't know how to effectively and efficiently dissect a script, if we don't know how to effectively and efficiently really communicate the message that is needed to be communicated, then we aren't going to be nailing these big high dollar jobs, because there's going to be some other actors out there that know exactly what they're doing, know exactly how to get with give the production companies what they want and to give the clients exactly what they want. And so is this a get rich quick thing? No, it's not. Now, is it possible for someone to get out there and really be able to get a good stride and catch some good breaks? Absolutely. It does happen. But is that the norm? No, it's not the norm. What the is is the exception to the rule and not the rule. But the thing that you definitely can count on is if you do take the time to invest in your craft and invest in bettering yourself and take the time to make your goals, have your goals. Think about what you really want out of your voiceover business and as what you want out of voice acting. What are you trying to really achieve? What is your perfect day in voice acting? And where are you now? And where are you now? And where versus where do you want to be as far as that perfect day? Now, what do I mean when I say a perfect day? Your perfect day in voice acting, I heard someone give this scenario when they were talking about goals. And I believe it was on the Side Hustle Nation podcast on one of his episodes. But the guest was going through and speaking about this, and they were talking about taking the time to see, okay, in a perfect day, this is what would happen. It would be for voice acting, it would be it could be I wake up in the morning and I have an order for from a great nationwide client that's paying me $5,000 for an e-learning that is going to take me a week to do, right? $5,000 for a week's worth of work. Who wouldn't want that? Now, if your perfect day is waking up to that job, to a job like that or job similar to that, and being able to work through those and deliver on time and being able to have your day to start at 9, end at 5, or whatever it may be. Your goal may be to be able to travel however you want to and still be able to do your work. Your perfect day may be waking up today in Myrtle Beach, waking up tomorrow in California, waking up the next day somewhere else. Just working with my lighting here. So as I'm doing these videos, definitely I'm going to be updating my set and my lighting here. I'm sitting here from my editing station right now. So I'm going to be updating things and upgrading as we go along with the show. But the key here is envision what your perfect day would be as a voice actor. Look at where you are, where you're trying to go, and all that space in the middle is the things that you need to do to get there. Now, if your perfect day is that goal, if your goal is that perfect day and everything that's around that, you take everything that's around that and look at the steps that you need to take to get there. But the key, once again, is to have one and to think about it. If you're thinking about this as a business, then treat it as such and do all of the necessities that come along with having and running a successful and profitable business, which gets into one of the things that I spoke about in one of my first videos about my year in review coaching. You need to make sure that you have the talent and that you have the skill and that you really know what you're doing out here and know how to do it. Because bottom line, there's a lot of competition out here. And if you want higher quality jobs, if you read one of these books that's got money all over the cover and saying make 6 figures or more doing voiceover, 6 figures doing voiceover is achievable, yes. Is this something that you're going to come right out the gate, fresh out the box, just killing it, doing 10 plus $1,000 a month in revenue just in your voiceover business? I seriously doubt it. Especially just starting out, coming in fresh, brand new, is unreasonable to expect to be able to get that level of work just coming in fresh, brand new. So let's think about this for a second. You're fresh, you're brand new, you just got your equipment, you know how to use your DAW to a point, but you haven't optimized it, and you don't have a lot of shortcuts and keys, a lot of shortcuts and keys and different processes in place to where you can do some things quickly. You know how to get some good audio out, but it's not necessarily the fastest. So let's say you're getting out there and you do get a ton of business, you get $10,000 worth of business. Coming in brand new, not knowing everything, not being totally comfortable with how to use your DAW, not having some processes in place on how to actually process the audio, not knowing different things like mic technique, mouth noise, what to do in the situations when it comes up, how to edit things out, when to record, when to not record, having the right mic. If you don't have the right mic, and then you got to go back and get another mic. If you do the work and you send it over, what happens when they come back and ask for revisions? That could cut into your time. So all of these things kind of play a factor. Think about it as the Oprah effect, right? Anybody that's not familiar with the Oprah effect, it's like whenever Oprah would give her favorite things back in the day, for those people who remember that, when Oprah would do her favorite things, one of the holy grails was for a new small business or a business to get onto one of Oprah's favorite things, because everybody would go through and buy your stuff. So, but what a lot of businesses found, if they weren't prepared for the influx of the result of the Oprah effect, it could be more hurtful than helpful if you don't know what you're doing and you're not prepared for all of that volume of work. And it's the same thing in voiceover. You have to be realistic about where you are, what you're trying to do, and what you want, which gets right back to your goals. Now, the good thing about setting goals and goal setting is the fact that when you set your people who set goals, studies show they're typically more successful, and they typically achieve their goals. When you do vision boards, and I haven't done one here in a while, and I'm going to do one for voiceover and some other things, but when you do a vision board and you're looking at it and you're seeing where you're trying to go and what the end goal is, and you're keeping that in front of you, that's another motivator as well. Write your goals down, whether it's writing literally the old-fashioned way, or if it's and there's nothing wrong, just for those of us that are in the upper 30s and 40s, there's nothing wrong with writing stuff the old-fashioned way if that's what works for you. It's about what works, which is another whole thought and another point in having a goal for your business and having a goal for what you're trying to get out of voice acting, so that you can know exactly what you need to be doing to improve and get you to the place that you're trying to go with your voiceover business and your voice acting career, right? Because it's an individual thing, an individual walk, and everybody's situation is different, everybody's skills are different, everybody's goals are different. So why is it important to have a goal in voice acting? It's important because it can help to steer you down a correct path and give you that extra patience that you need when times will start to get a little rough and dicey out here in these voice acting streets, because you just don't know what you don't know, and you're learning because you're new. So as I go through and end this particular video, always remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. We're going to have more good content coming just like this. The importance of setting goals for your voice acting business. It helps to give you a direction on which way to go in your business and what you want to do with it. And if nothing else, it gives you an idea of it causes you to think about it. And this is one last point here before we go. When you have a goal and when you have a clear vision on or have an idea on where you want to go with your voice acting business, then it allows you to pursue or not pursue the different genres that you may or may not want to do. Because voice acting is broad. There's a lot that you can do in voice acting. I mean, from the marathon stuff of audiobooks to the sprint type of work of commercials and everything in between. And our voices are used on all type of things nowadays. So it's a wonderful industry, and there's a lot that can be done and a lot of profitability out here for us. And it gives us as entrepreneurs with great voices and our creatives that know how to use our DAWs and compete can get out here and make a really good living out here doing this. Now, but make sure you set your goals. Make sure your goals are realistic. And no, this is not an exhaustive video about goals. This video is about why it's important for a voice actor to know what your goals are for your business. So that's all of this episode. The importance of goal setting for voice actors. And yes, the season is here. And if you know me and you hear my voice before, you can tell that I'm hoarse. And yeah, I'm hoarse and I'm kind of struggling through this one. And that'll be another episode. We'll talk about what do you do when you're hoarse and your voice can't work for the clients. But until next time, this is your man, your boy, the voice actor, Richard Hawks, the reality of voice acting. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.